Well, you guys, of course, you and your brother Luke, part of King and Country, have a holiday concert, a Drummer Boy Christmas, coming out in theaters December the 5th through the 9th. Of course, this is a really popular concert, and I've always wanted to go to it, but it's never been near me. So this is my time to see it in the
No,
theater.
you just hit the nail on the head, Michael. But part of our frustration, we've done this Drummer Boy Christmas tour for, I don't know, 6 years or so now. And every season, it's sort of a sad moment in some ways because the Christmas season is so short that when we announce the tour, we can only go to like 10 cities. And so like 3/4 of the United States is upset at us. And, these 10 cities are thrilled until 2024, because we had a little foresight towards the end of last year. We're in Texas right now. And speaking of Texas, we took the film crew from our movie Unsung Hero, and we dropped them in the Toyota Center in Houston, Texas. And with 12,000 folks in attendance, we captured an up close and personal kind of live sonic cinematic concert experience that, speaking of Mariah, she said to me last night, she said, I kind of think this is better than your actual show. Because you got to think about it, when you come to a concert, which we love the live experience, but you're sitting at one POV the whole night. And what we really wanted this to feel like is this is not a bird's eye view live capture experience. This is up close, you're in the front row of this show. And so, man, we're awfully proud of it. And not to mention the fact that, yes, we're going to be in driving distance from every American, but also and more so, it just feels like this Christmas, and I felt this the last few Christmases, we just need Christmas more than ever. We need to talk about love and joy and peace, and celebrate these great attributes of what we aspire to be as humans. So, yeah, can't wait.
I'm curious, Joel, how did Drummer Boy Christmas? How did this get started? And also how has it evolved over the years?
It's really interesting, Michael, because so Luke and I launched, as you know, as a band in 2012. So we've been a duo for a little over a decade. And that Christmas, we were so excited about the fact that we could just tour and a few hundred people would show up. We dedicated, we said, we're going to do a Christmas tour. We had no Christmas album. We had no Christmas single. And yet we shoved ourselves into a 15-passenger van, and literally spanned the country. For rehearsals, we put ourselves in an old factory in downtown Franklin, where we live in Tennessee. And one of the renditions that we came up with was Drummer Boy. And I'm so grateful for that song on so many levels. But what a lot of folks don't know is it really, in a pivotal time for us as a baby band, when you're trying to figure out your sound and your visuals and your direction, it was such an indicator and a beacon for what kind of band we were going to be, rhythmically, visually, even sentimentally, what kind of group we were going to be. And so fast forward from that day to this, Drummer Boy has been this through line for us as a group. And so this feels like a real culminative, this Drummer Boy Christmas cinematic concert experience feels like a real culminative moment, not just for us as is in relation to Christmas, but as a band to recognize how much this song has guided us. I'll say this too, you know that a song has been impacting when a TSA agent in the airport looks at you and doesn't go, "Hey, you're one of the guys for King Country." He goes, "Hey, you're one of the Drummer Boy guys, right?" That's when you know. That's when you know.
That is awesome. I'm old enough, Joel. Your sister Rebecca St. James had a Christmas album, I don't know, 2 decades ago, and
Yeah.
it was kind of a high energy Christmas album as well. I'm curious, did that spark your imagination?
I'm so glad you brought it up, because there's no question, Michael, no question. That Christmas album, because Luke and I were teenagers at the time, and we were her road crew during that era, and so we were setting up all of the literally hanging Christmas lights every day, which was a disaster because they get so tangled. And yet was some of the most magical, emotional, meaningful moments that we'd had, even just watching the show. And I was doing background vocals with her at the time. And so I don't think you can put a price tag on how much that tour indicated what we do today. Yeah.
You guys use risers during your concert, and this Drummer Boy Christmas concert tour, you guys use risers as well. You're going up and down. I'm curious. I'm just curious as a person who's kind of scared of heights. I mean, what is it like to be on one of those? And do you ever get scared of falling? Have you ever come close?
Now we're getting down to the nitty gritty, Michael, because you are right. There's one of the most pivotal moments of the whole night is we elevate throughout the night. Luke and I get in these two sort of lifts and go up and down. But one of the most pivotal moments is in the middle of the arena. There's this kind of 12 by 12. We called it sort of the saucer, because it sort of looks like a UFO. And there's no handrails or anything, and we get on it, about 5 of us, and we go up about 50 feet in the air, and we sing Silent Night from up there, and everyone raises their flashlight as sort of a carols by candlelight moment. And it was some nights equally terrifying as it was, exhilarating, partly because the platform, this is getting into way too many details, but the platform is grated, which means you can look straight through the platform and see 50 feet down. I've gotten pretty used to it. I haven't had any major accidents, knock on wood, from these sorts of things, except last night one of them did hit me in the head at a show, which Mariah was not thrilled about either. But Luke initially is very. Also, he's 6'4", so up in that stratosphere, everything feels more scary, because if you fall from 6'4", you're hurting yourself already, whether or not you're 40 feet in the air.
I got 2 more small questions for you, Joel. What do you hope moviegoers take away from this concert experience, Drummer Boy Christmas?
It is the Christmas story, Michael. What I love about the Christmas season is everyone sort of turns their attention to, instead of in a consumeristic culture taking all the time, we turn our attention to giving all the time. And instead of turning our attention towards our own ideas or ideals, we turn our attention towards our family and towards loved ones, and many of us towards God, and this is we've really dedicated ourselves to invite the Spirit, if you will, into these arenas and into these rooms, and to tell there's a lot of Christmas stories out there. There's the sort of Hallmark romance Christmas story, which we love, and there's the Santa Claus Christmas story, which we love. But the origin story is God coming to Earth as an infant and turning BC into AD and changing the world. And that's the story that we're putting in 1,500 theaters this Christmas, is with a bit of spectacle and elevation and all the rest of it. But that's the heart of it, yeah.
Final question for you, Joel. You guys are taking a break next year, you and your brother Luke, from touring.
Yeah.
And you're going to be working on an album. Have you started thinking about what's in that album? Have you and Luke started talking about ideas?
At some level, we're in an interesting spot, Michael, in the band, where it's so many beautiful opportunities, and we've just been the whole time has just been sort of, feels like we've just been sort of building this thing one brick at a time, and this is the first time in over 10 years that we will have taken this amount of time at home. Never. And arguably even before that, because Rebecca was touring a lot for that, you could say probably in a couple of decades we haven't. And so that's really pivotal. We don't know exactly what, so I prescribe to this idea that the song writes you much more than you write the song. So you just have to sort of show up to it, and you have intentions and ideas and lyrics, but it sort of weaves magically, miraculously weaves its own way. The one thing I can say we have been developing is that speaking of cinema and theaters, we've been about 6 years now, we've been working on a film project that actually Unsung Hero leapfrogged. And I've just spent the last 6 weeks out on tour with our screenwriter, basically every day. I've work on it during the day, go on stage, play the show, walk off stage, do another session late night with him, because we're really keen to go into production next fall on that film. So yeah, it's funny, people say, what are you going to do with your break? You're taking a break. And it's like, well, we're not traveling, but we're going to be very much creating, which I think is very invigorating for both Luke and me.
Yeah. Is two small questions. Is the album releasing next year or the following year?
You never quite know, but I can reasonably confidently say it would be 2026. Yeah.
And the film, is the film a musical? I remember you guys were working on a musical at one point. Is this a musical? It is a musical.
I can neither confirm nor deny, but I will.
I tried.
I'll give you this sort of thing, Yeah.
I tried. We've been speaking to Joel Smallbone, who needs to go eat now. I think he and his brother Luke. He and his brother Luke have a holiday concert movie out, a Drummer Boy Christmas, which is phenomenal. December the 5th through the 9th. Joel,
great to talk to you too, Mikey. I'll just offer this at the end too, and just because we're having this conversation, I've been told by Fathom that because it's 5 nights only, there's just limited capacity. So I just encourage you, if you've made it this far in the interview, if you want to go, grab your tickets now, because they're going really quickly, which is beautiful. But I just want to make sure everyone who wants to go has the chance to go.